name is Antoine Stills, and I've been through the darkest struggles of addiction. I know what it feels like when you trapped, alone, no escape. Today, I'm going to talk about how I overcame my addiction. My sobriety date is 2/12/19. I'll have 6 years sobriety come February. A little bit about myself. I grew up in a small town, family of five. Um, Growing up, we didn't have much. You know, grew up around my grandma. My mother was around, but she worked, but we was always at grandma's house. And back then, like, you could, grandma was there to watch them. They don't make grandmas like my grandma was nowadays. And it was a beautiful feeling. Being around my grandma. I still miss my grandma because she was the one. She was the heart. She was the soul of the family. We grew up in church. We would go to church 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? I remember times we would go to church and we would show up to church for like choir practice, and nobody was in our family was even in the choir. But my grandma, she just always made sure we was in church. The church was churching around a small town called Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. It was different. She signed us up for all the programs, Sunshine Band, mornings, prayer. We was always there. But I still remember the first time I took my first drink. 1996. No, it was 1998, 1999, 1998. I remember I was 12 years old. It was at my cousin's graduation party, and I didn't even know really like what I was doing. It was the first sign, glimpse of pretty much sneaky behaviors that would carry on for 20 years. I ain't pretty much knew too much about sneaky behaviors. I was just a kid, just trying to have fun. Me and my cousin Dennis. He's currently, facing life in prison for some mistakes that he made. Hopefully, continue to. I just, pray he keep that relationship with Christ. But we was just sneaky behaviors. Some of the reasons why. I felt good, like for real. Like I loved to drink. I really didn't have too much other substances that I bothered. I was just a full-blown alcoholic, full-blown. And it's tough because when you look at it now, 12 years old, I would have never thought at the age of 38 that I would be 6 years sobriety. I would have, at least thought I would be on my way to accomplishing some things in life. But it's never too late to turn your life over to God. And with my mom, my mother started getting blind at the age of, when I turned like 15 years old. My mom been blind for like 22 years, and it's tough. It was tough. My sister had to take over and become the mother of the family at the age of like 18, and she was already trying to start her life and do positive things in the world, for herself. But she's the second oldest out of five, but she had to, become the mother. We all, it's one girl, 4 boys, and we all like cater to her. You know what I'm saying? I always, I love my sister to death. I'd do anything in the world for my sister, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's one person in the world that I would do anything for, it's definitely my sister, man. But we didn't have much. I remember days where, I was young, and I remember days where we just didn't have water in the crib. We lived on like every street in Aliquippa. We was always evicted. And I just was trying to figure out like why. like this small town, you know, we didn't have much. I mean, she tried to make the best of what she could do, but it was like more to life than what it was. And I, still to this day, I'm still was asking, like, we was just moving from crib to crib to crib to crib to crib. Every 6 months we get moved out, moved to a different to a different area. And I'm sitting here, I was getting bullied, being for real, I was being bullied. I fought so many people in my life as a kid because I didn't have much. So they picked on you, this, that, and the third. And I had to defend myself. The only escape was like, once I got that first real, 12 years old, like I said, the 12 years old was the sneaky behaviors, but 15, 16, life started coming in, and like, I hated it. I hated life. I hated living. Like, I'm still trying to figure out, like, why. And the only thing that I can run to was alcohol. It's definitely tough. Like, ninth grade, I'm a full-blown alcoholic. When I was in ninth grade, I never thought I was a full-blown. I didn't think I was an alky. I thought I was just trying to have fun, fit in with people who just wanted to party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always at every single party, like, drunk. You know what I'm saying? Arguing with my older brother, arguing with cousins. They didn't even want me around, but I was intoxicated, like, literally. I can look at it now at the age of 38 and look back and be like, dang, I was a full-blown alcoholic in ninth grade and didn't even know. We left Aliquippa, we moved to Ambridge, in the middle of like my sophomore year, and I go over there. Mind you, like, Aliquippa is like a black community. It's an urban community. You know what I'm saying? And Ambridge is right across the bridge, like directly right across the bridge, and it's like, that's an all-white town. Like, I remember going to high school. There was 1,200 kids, and there was only 10 of them was black. You can name the black kids that went to the school. You know what I'm saying? But I found a lot of friends there, and they elevated the alcohol because simple fact was their parents was more like, our kids ain't allowed to drink out nowhere. Like, they drink if they gonna drink home. I'm like, dang, y'all allowed them to drink? And I'm like, yeah. So like, it was more for me to fit in. I started working at John Eagle at the age of 16, and at that time, they didn't have like no alcohol in no John Eagle. Like, wasn't no liquor store in John Eagle or nothing like that. Nowadays it is, but back when I was 16, there wasn't. So I would get paid every Wednesday, go pay somebody, send somebody like co-workers, somebody out from side to go get me a bottle next door to the liquor store, take it to a party, still full-blown drunk. It's crazy. Graduated, full-blown drunk still. Went to college, full-blown drunk. I got 2 college degrees, associate's degree in legal studies and a bachelor's degree in political science. My dream growing up was always to be the Johnny Cochran of the East Coast. And alcohol limit that. I was going to school drunk every day. It's still like graduating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still graduate and everything. It's crazy to think about it, but I never fulfilled the promise that was in front of me, which was, go to school. I was always chasing alcohol. I had my son when I was like 21 years old. And I think that, like, that should have been a wake-up call when I had my son, but it wasn't. I remember him being my son when he was born. He spent like the first 2 years of his life in Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. And, I was a deadbeat, man, like, for real. Like, I literally was a deadbeat because, like, I was more chasing the alcohol than spending time with my son, who needed me the most while he was in the hospital. Like, his mom would, keep an eye on him during the day, and I would have to keep an eye on him at nighttime. But at nighttime, I would, like, we would switch shit. We would switch. Man, when she left, I went straight to one of the bars in Pittsburgh, come back 6 o'clock in the morning like nothing ever happened. It was like a daily basis. I was working, doing everything, making it to work. I lost like 20 jobs due to alcohol, but I had one that I had for about 5-6 years before I got clean. But, like, I wasn't there for my son. And normally, like, when your son's sick, it should wake you up. My brother always wanted me to wake up to some things, but I never, like, truly woke up to the reality of it. And I'm glad that me and his mother's on good terms. You know, right now we've been on a good. My whole sobriety, we've been on great terms. Like for real, for real. You know, she called me for this. I make sure she got it because I ain't drinking no more. So like, you know, I make sure she got it. But the beginning, the early stages of him, you know, and not being there. My son's 16 right now. He been on a feeding tube his whole life. Never ate a cheeseburger. Like I wasn't there to give him his medicine or learn his medicine or learn the milk that he needed or anything. Like I wasn't there. You know, and if I was there, was I really there? I was drunk. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when I graduated from the recovery program that I went to, she took me off child support. She literally told me the only reason why I put you on child support when Giovanni was born was because I thought it was going to stop you from drinking. Less money in your pocket was going to stop you from drinking. But it made things worse. Like you kept drinking. You was the complete opposite of what I thought. And a lot of it had to do with like pain. Like, you know, nobody want to see their kid. You know, I want my kid to be able to play with normal people, go out, have fun. You know, he ain't learned to start walking and talking until he was like 8. And I wasn't even there to even see him start walking, talking, nothing. You know, he's 16 and he still ain't even like a normal 16-year-old. You know, but I definitely feel God, you know, he made this decision like to for my son's life to make sure that I'm right and to learn the lessons, you know, and to take care of them, take better care of them. It took me a minute to realize like it's not my fault that he was born in this situation, but it is my responsibility to take care of him. I definitely learned a lot, you know, throughout these past 5.5 years about, you know, when you remove the chemicals and toxics out of your system, you start thinking logic. A lot of people might not like the way you think or anything like that, but, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, the not being in his life to, you know, stealing money from my mom. Like I said in the beginning, my mom got blind when I was young. So, you know, she had home nurses and I would like steal money out of her purse to go to the bar to drink. And I'd be in the other room and watch her yell at her nurses, blaming them for stealing. I never said anything, bro. I was intoxicated. Like I'm chasing this, like losing everything, man. Like I remember to this day, like losing everything. It definitely sucked. You know, a couple years go by, I'm still drinking. And then something happened. You know, one thing that like woke me up to reality was, this is when I knew I was at like the end. Like nobody could tell me anything. I always thought like I know it all. I'm better than everybody. Like this is what I believe, because like being a kid and you being around like an environment where like you feel like people hate you and the only thing you can run to is the alcohol to numb the pain. And you know, you get a little when you start drinking, you act different. You know what I'm saying? My family did not want me around. My brothers kicked me out. My sister, she hated me. You know what I'm saying? I remember, like, even like when my sister's situation was like, I said like she was the mother of the family. Like she was more in my drinking days. She worked a certain shift, and she will always tell her 3 kids, do not let Antoine in my house. Do not let me Antoine in my house. And like she'll go to work 3 to 11. Her kids just got out of school. Man, they let me stay over the crib and sleep. But they'll wake me up at like 10:30 and be like, yo, My mom's on the way, you gotta roll. And like to this day, man, I love her. Like people don't understand like the relationship that I have with her and her 3 kids. That like I do anything in the world for that for them, man. Like anything in the world. Like I don't care what they going through. They know they hit me up. You know what I'm saying? And just going through situation that she'll let me come over to the crib. Like they'll have like Super Bowl party or something like that, or Thanksgiving or something like that, and I'll go in the crib sober. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm acting like I'm sober, but literally like I'm intoxicated. Plus I got a beer in the bag. They don't, so like I hide the beer like under the sink or behind the toilet or something, like where she ain't gonna like go look and see, like go look around the crib to see if like Antoine had a beer. About the time I leave out the crib, like me and her fighting, arguing, like it was terrible. It was toxic. Like that's what the situation was with the alcohol. But then like the moment that I woke up to reality, and I knew like I never needed. So my mom being blind didn't stop me from drinking. My son being disabled didn't stop me from drinking. Like nothing stopped me from drinking. Nothing stopped me from drinking. But this one thing stopped me from drinking. It's crazy because like this was the end. So I said like my mom had 5 kids. So the middle child was like literally my role model. His name was Larry. Like great person. A real great person. He goes to the hospital Sunday. I think it was Allegheny General Hospital in Pittsburgh. He go to the hospital on the north side, Pittsburgh. He goes in Sunday. He said he had a diabetic stroke. Meanwhile, he only 34 years old. He had a diabetic stroke. So the family calling me all week to come up, see your brother. I'm in the bar drinking, doing whatever. They like, man, you need to go see your brother. He ain't doing too good. Everybody telling me. I'm like, man, y'all don't understand him, man. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. He all right, man. He all right, like, for real. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I never go see my brother. So this is 6 days I did not go see my brother because I was drunk, like literally intoxicated. I could not, like the alcohol was just over me where I couldn't even go see him. I go Saturday morning. I'm sober. Saturday morning about like, I want to say it was about 9:05, 9:30. I'm up there. I go up there, go in this room. The nurse followed behind me. I thought my brother was asleep. And I was like, what's going on in here? She was like, your brother passed away just a couple of hours ago. The only reason why we didn't remove his body yet was because your parents said they wanted you to see your brother. You was on your way. And then at that moment, man, I don't know what it was, but it was deep. It was a wake up call that if something that powerful can come into my life and have me ignore the things that is important to me, I'm missing so much. And if I'm missing all this because of this one thing that I love that I can't let down, meanwhile I'm missing everything else that's important, I gotta let this thing go. Gave my brother a forehead kiss. I left. Went back to the bar, drunk some more. I was belligerent. I was gone. And then he had his view. He had a wake. I want to say he had a wake the day before in the morning. He had a morning wake and an evening wake, and I didn't go to neither one of them. People still looking for me, still wondering like, how you disrespecting your brother? You can't show up. I'm like, man, bro, I'm gonna go when I go. I'm gonna go, man. Like I'm going. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm going, but like mentally, like I'm not even there. Like I'm still intoxicated. I'm still drunk. I have to sober up. I can't just go see my brother, in the casket messed up, man. Like I don't want to see my brother like that, bro. Like it's hard to let it go. So I sober up. I sober up. The evening I sobered up the evening. By the time the morning came for his funeral, I was sober. Got a ride from the funeral by his best friend Dre. And I see my brother, and I just like instantly was like, the time to stop drinking is now. Now, my brother didn't have no addiction or nothing like that. Like I said, he was 34 years old. He died from a diabetic stroke. We got the same mom, same dad. We same household, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my brother. And it was tough. You know what I'm saying? To see my brother in that casket. So we sitting in the funeral's going on. I'm not even on the obituary to speak, man. And the story that, touches me is when Jesus heals the man that was sitting next to the pool for 38 years. Couldn't move. And he asked him, did he want to be made well? At my brother's funeral, I heard something whispered in my ear. Do you want to be sober? I instantly said, yeah. He said, stand up. And I stood up in the middle of the funeral in front of everybody. Walked to the microphone. I'm not even on the obituary. So, like nowadays how funeral directors are, like, we on a time schedule. You know what I'm saying? We can't go over 2 hours or 3 hours or it's going to cost you. So you messing up the whole scripture. You're not even on obituary, Antoine. You're messing up the whole scripture. I went right to the microphone. I didn't care. When nobody gonna tell me like to get off the microphone. You tripping, bro. I don't care who you is. I got something I gotta say. I got something I gotta get off my chest. I looked at my brother in the casket. And I said, the moment y'all put my brother in the ground, I'm going to Erie, I'm getting clean, and I'm never coming back. My brother got put in the ground. A week later, or it was like a week or two later, I finally surrendered. I put myself in a rehab program in Erie called Cadencia. I was there for 94 days, blocked off from the world. Now, the thing about going there was it taught me discipline. And I didn't have no discipline in my life. I've been to drunk tanks, but I ain't never been to prison. You know what I'm saying? I ain't go to no military. There wasn't no discipline structure. Like, you in the drunk tank, they get out 6 o'clock in the morning. I tell them I'm coming back at 12. Keep the bed ready. Bars open at 7. But like, I didn't have like no discipline, no nothing. And I go there, I learn discipline. I learn, accountability. That place changed my life and I needed it. I was blocked off from the world for the first time in a long time. No phone, no nothing, just looking at the same 22 people for 94 days. And then I wanted to go across the street to their 3-quarter house. I spoke to my sponsor about it, and he was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, why? And I was about to fire my sponsor for this, and he goes, because this is your first time ever in recovery. And I see a lot of people go through this, and they pick up. Try the New Life program and see what it is. I go to the Erie City Mission New Life program, take a tour of it. The moment I walked into the Erie City Mission New Life program, like took the tour with Daryl Smith, took the tour with him. But the moment I stepped foot on that ground, it reminded me before I picked up in 98 when I was going to church with my grandma. So for 20 years, when I went there, it was something that like clicked. That for 20 years, I was living without God. I was lost in the world doing worldly things that everybody was doing. And there was only like, being for real, it was one person that never left, that was always there from when I was 11, when I first picked up my drink. And that was Jesus. He was right there. Never left, just waiting and it just that feeling was just so, I haven't felt that in so long. Like somebody really actually loved me. And it wasn't even like the mental thing of the rehab facility or anything, nothing like that. It was like in my vision that he was there. He never left. It wasn't why did you let me go through this my whole entire life without even realizing anything? It was like, dang, man, you've been here waiting for me this long? And he was. And I committed to turning my life over to him. Did the 12 steps, turned my will and my life over to God. I gave it all to him. And I worked on myself. My sponsor said, find a home group, find a church. I instantly found the home group. I found the church. And I've been serving at that church as Elevate for 5 years, part of their youth ministry. Because when I was at the mission, we would go to church every Sunday. That was the church we would go to every Sunday. And I instantly did the crash course, signed up. I was like, I want to be a part of the youth ministry. Because I wanted to give back to some kind of way, give back to the youth, but because children, I was a child. I was in 4th, 5th grade, sneaking alcohol. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those children, they can feel like they don't have nobody in their life. They can feel there's no male role model. This home is broken. I have nobody to go to. And I was committed to the church. I was committed to my home group. I was committed to sponsoring. I got a lot of people that I sponsored within these past 5.5 years. Talking to them, getting to know them. It's not even about me anymore. It's about helping the next person that's still struggling, sick. This disease is deadly. It takes everything away from you, and you don't even know that it's taking everything away from you. Being homeless, sleeping on the streets. Now they got the fentanyl going on now. And I tell people, you literally don't even have to be bothering or dealing with the fentanyl. I've lost friends within the past 2.5 years just saying they were smoking weed and their blunt was laced with fentanyl. Who laces that, I've lost a lot of people due to this drug. It's something serious, and people, they laugh. I used to be the person that literally would laugh at somebody because they going to rehab. Meanwhile, I'm in the bar wasting money, doing God knows what. But I'm laughing at these people. Instead of, because I didn't see nothing was wrong with me, I wore the mask. I laughed in front of people, did whatever in front of people, and then all of a sudden, after the mask is gone and when you by yourself, what do? You weep, you cry, you drink more to numb that pain. Meanwhile, there's people getting help. And now I'm able to look at them people. Now I'm able to see people, communicate with people, give them some kind of guidance that if you work on yourself, you will survive. If you put God first in your life, you will not pick up. There's no wishy-washy in this. You know, he saved my life. I literally hear the words of, I need your brother with me in order for you to get right, because I'm not done with you yet. And there's so many people. You know, now I'm a treasury of a meeting. We put 60, 70 people in a meeting every Thursday, and I'm the treasury. They gave me the hold the money. Like, I never thought somebody would be like, hold the money, don't spend it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, like, I do this, and it's up to me, like, to, you know, that leadership role to make sure that the door's open, the coffee's running, the scripture's there, the donations we got to send out to the other groups that are ahead of us. It's up to me to be doing all this. And I try my best to be an example. 20 years of my life was wasted due to something that I loved that didn't even love me back. I truly gave everything into alcohol, the bottle. And what did I get back in return? Pain, suffering, missing out on important things, not knowing right from wrong. But then the moment I truly gave my life over to God, everything went away. Got a great job. I've been living in my crib for 4 years. I didn't even have a crib. Like, I didn't have a place to stay. I slept on the streets or in a drunk tank. Now I have a place. Gotta pay gas, gotta pay water, gotta pay heat, gotta pay cable, gotta pay internet. I gotta pay all that. Do I complain? No, I'm blessed. I'm thankful to be put in this position to where I can go to sleep in my bed and be like, I deserve this. It feels good on the other side when you start living right. I just want people to wake up and realize that you're not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting loved ones who really, truly care about you. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you.